Hello everyone, and welcome to Orange University. On tonight's episode, we're going to play a little Boros offense. So I've seen a lot of the Mardu offense running around with a bunch of discards, and then they discard practice offense, and then just gain a lot of power on a 2 damage attack in like the Moon Shadow decks. I think that's the one that primarily like this combo, and I think they splash white in Arachnos deck. But I thought, what if we just go directly into Boros? And that is what this deck does, right? We have our Mako into Cobra Root, and that is the best part about this combo, is that if you turn on Mako, turn to Cobra Root, then we can just discard practice offense. Turn 3, we practice offense onto the Mako, and overwhelmingly defeat our opponent. So that is my idea for this deck, and because we have to cut black out of the deck, that does kind of hurt a lot of the longevities in things like the Moon Shadow, things like the Blood Gas, and so I have to slot in some of the better white cards to try to fix that. But luckily, because we are running out, or we were cutting down a lot of the black cards, we get to put in cards like Lightning Helix, and of course Boros Charm for an immediate 4 damage or a double attacking madness. So those are very good. Well, I don't want to say madness as an ability. It's just hectic double attacking threat. So that is what we're going to try in this deck. So let's talk about the deck list. So turn 1, we got 8 1-drops to make sure that we hit something. There's 4 Lightstall Inquisitor and 4 Marauding Mako. These 1-drops are fairly useful, either slowing our opponent down or having a very big threat on board that we can kind of curve out. Alright, and then of course we also have 4 Burst Lightnings, but we'll talk about the removals for later. That's what we want to play on turn 1 to have tempo. Turn 2 is our FOMO. FOMO is very good in this deck because it combos with Marauding Mako for a discard, but later on we might be able to get that double attack Delirium, and double attack with double strike is quadruple damage. That is very strong. We also have 4 Cobra Root, which is what we are. We're cool, but we're also rude. And whenever we discard, we deal 2 damage. And one of the new premier cards from the deck, or from the Strixhaven set, Hardened Academic. 2 mana, 2/1, that allows to discard whenever. But more importantly, whenever a card leaves our graveyard, we put a +1/+1 counter on target creature we control. This obviously combos very well with Blood Gas. But right now, if we just cast the flashback side of practice offense, that also is very strong because you can pump something, practice offense, pump something again, and give that a double strike. So in one turn, we're giving something +2 and double strike. And, you know, Marauding Mako, if it gets a +1 from the discard, all of a sudden, that's a +3 double strike. It went from a 1/1, 1 mana 1/1 to a 1 mana 4/4 double striker. That's really strong, right? And that's how we can kind of close out games very quickly. We also have Voice. There's a lot of blue decks running around. Having 2 Voice of Victory could help stop our opponent from countering our stuff. But also stops a lot of the decks from interacting with our combo pieces with like the burn spells or removal pieces. And we have 2 Inti, which is because we can't have more than 4 Cobra Root. Inti does something like that whenever we attack with a discard card and not draw a card but impulse draw. So comboing that with Mako is still pretty good. And it gives Mako Trample, which double strike without Trample is kind of pointless. But with Trample, all of a sudden it's scary again. And all of a sudden it's the mouse combo. And so that's our Tempo 2-drop. And our Tempo 3-drop is just the 1 Tursa. 1 Tursa Light Shatter. And that's the play, right? Then, of course, we need a lot of interactions and removal pieces. So 4 Burst Lightning and 4 Lightning Helix. These can go face. So that's what makes this very strong, because we don't have to kill their creatures. A lot of the burn spells, if they only target creatures and our opponent's not playing a creature deck, then we're screwed. But if our opponent's not playing creatures against this deck, we'll just burn their face and they'll die a lot quicker. So here is our 8 face damage. We also have 2 more in Boros Charm. Now this also deals damage to the face, but a lot of times it is also a double strike giver or a permanent protection. So we get a protection, well, not a protection for our permanent, I should say. And protection for our permanent means that if they try to, get lost, our our Cobra Root, or they try to target our big attacking Mako, we get to protect it, and then finish the game off from there. Double strike is very good, but we have other things to give it double strike, like practice offense, or maybe an attacking FOMO with Delirium. So yeah, that's our Boros Charm. That's why we only run 2 off in the deck. And then 2 Shelter by Ghosts, which is gonna be insanely good with our double strikers. So we can gain a lot of life and we can outpace our opponent that way. And then we have practice offense. You need to have 4 practice offense. Don't let the 3-drop fool you. This is actually a 2-drop in flashback. And A lot of times we can use the flashback sign only by discarding it to Kobaru, discarding to Inti, discarding to FOMO, and then we'll be able to get there. So I think this deck can work with just Boros. We don't need black. I don't know if it's better than black. I'm going to run the black deck, the Mardu deck next time. But right now, in this version, I want to see, is our Boros offense good enough? And then we have 19 lands only, because obviously aggro deck, we curve out to 2 mana if you look at it, right? The only 3 mana play is Tursa. These gets pitched and then just play for 2. So it curves out to just 2 mana. And so we have 5 mountains, 4 Inspiring Vantage, 4 Sacred Foundry, 4 Sunbillow Verge, and 2 Multiversal Passage. And that's all there is to our aggressive Boros deck, and see whether or not we can cheat out some wins. Let's go into the games and see how well we will do. Alright, our opponent is Astrale. Opponent goes first. Wait a minute, this is 3 Sunbillow Verges. Slumbering Keep Guard, huh? Here's a Marauding Mako. Ethereal Armor? Is he going to do anything else to it? It's probably like a protection spell, right? I'm imagining. He's going to protect. So Helix here would be pretty bad. I think we Inti. I could play the Voice. Potentially protect, but this is a lot of damage. Mako. Mako's gone. No more Mako Tsunami. If he has a Shelter, I just switches out. Here's a Feather Flight. But not Shelter. Can't block it. Cannot block it. Might as well go and attack. I do get a land. Alright, I have a Helix. I don't think it'll work, especially if he has a Shelter. Most helpful Weaver. Yeah, I don't think this will work. It's going to be a 5/4. Okay, I'm getting a chance for lethal here. Does he have a Shelter? He doesn't have a Shelter, so here's 3 damage to your face. Yeah, oh, I mean, okay. Another one is fun. Do we just go? Do we just go for it? This is Trample. Is that all 4 Helix, by the way? 3, right? I didn't put 1 back or anything. So, this is gonna get trampled. I get a land, which doesn't matter. GG. Good game. I didn't even need to Helix him. Alright, our opponent is Saucy Bavarian. Bavarian. Opponent goes first, and we have no one. Well, we do have a 1-drop, but our opponent's still going first. Let's Inspire and Marauding Mako. Look how inspired we are to maraud on him. Tap land, go. Well, I mean, this is probably a Spell Snare. Is it better to Cooper Root and Spell Snare to Cooper Root, or is it better to Voice? And get Voice. Yeah, Voice is slightly less useful. And having Voice out makes it so that if they don't answer, then they can't really do much. Stock up. Wow, okay. Our opponent believe they have a lot of time. proven wrong. So I want the Kulba root here. I draw and discard a card. I don't think there's any 1-drops that gets played this turn. So this is fine. Discard a Sacred Foundry. I got a bunch. Tap land go. Next turn I can level up in Shelter, assuming there's no Day of Judgment. Tap land. I mean, you can still have like the Withering Curse thing. You probably just kill the Voice of Victory. Get lost on Voice. Oh, that's actually really good for me then. So what do we do here? I can Tursa, but I don't want to Tursa. I think I want to... Well, I want to level up in FOMO. Level up. And then we FOMO. Take some damage. Then attack. Discard. Take some more damage. It's down to 5. Yo! We are very cool and very rude. There's a dodge. He's down to 3. You're just dead. Tursa. Discard 2 cards. Yeah, that's 4 damage before I even attacked. Goodbye, Saucy Mabarian. Alright, our opponent is Spawn of Melkor. Okay, Melkor. You're letting us go first, Melkor? What do we play? Probably the Lightstall here. Because I don't have a discard target anyways, so Lightstall would slow him down a bit, especially on turn 1. The biggest decision anyone has to play on turn 1 is what gets stalled. Right, unless they have tap lands already, so then they won't care. The fact that they have to think about it means they don't have a tap land to throw, or they're bad at the game, who knows. No, they did not have a tap land, so now their Willow Rush Verge will have to be tapped. Didn't hurt him. He's a Landware Elf turn. Mockingbird on our Lightstall. Alright, that's pretty annoying. Do I care about my Marauding Mako here? Being cost 2? Or do I care about the Voice being cost 2? I mean, I don't really care about this Lightstall anyways, right? So maybe the Burst Lightning cost 2 doesn't hurt too much. Cool Baruch. Ah, just punish. Yeah, it happens. So we'll go Cool Baruch. He just traits. Leyline Weaver. Can I get a land? Thank you. So this means I want to Burst Lightning and probably Mako here. This is face up, but you know, I don't want him to ramp too quickly. There's a Badger Mode Cup now. I get Tursa. So what do I want to do here? I can discard 2 cards, but I don't get the Cool Baru trigger with those discards. I think I attack first. So I'm probably not playing Tursa this turn. That means Tursa's probably going. Does he block? Yo, buddy, did you block my Mako? That's wild. Do I cycle this Mako then? Why would I do that? I could just play another spell. Yeah, I'm okay with trading here. Then I can Voice into a Mako. I'm back! Yeah, I don't know about that block. Yeah, it's a second Badger Mocha. Does he have a third? No, Quantum Riddler to draw a card. I mean, it does seem good, but honestly, like it's... No, he drew a land, that's... Now it's good, right? Like, if he doesn't draw that land, it doesn't seem to be as hurtful. But him drawing that land is painful. So, I can play FOMO and lose my Boros Charm? I don't think that's worth too much. I'm gonna attack with Voice, but probably Practice Offense would be the best. Double strike, please. Okay. I mean, it's getting dangerous, but the discard might be able to get him. Nah, I don't think so, though. This is 4 damage. Then I discard a card that's not for the Meringue River region. Did not bounce my Cobra Rude. Buddy, do you know how this works? I hope you know how this works. Inti. So, I mean, I can get a Hardened Academic here. Am I dead? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's see if I get there, though. Does he have a counterspell? Dude. He has a counterspell. Okay. Was not expecting that. So I can deal 2 damage. This attack makes a discard. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He can, if he has Crater Hoof right now. Okay, not Crater Hoof. So he's not gonna lethal me this turn, and I'm trying to lethal him next turn, right? So really, it's gonna depend on whether or not I'll get there with this lethal. Riddler for a card draw. I don't know. That means he's not dealing damage this turn. I guess it doesn't matter because he's gonna lethal next turn. Does he attack? Does he hold back to block? Didn't attack. Coward. Okay, so this attack really just discards a card. It won't do us much good. But I will discard a card to get a card. And then I will also discard a card to draw a card. Burst Lightning. Oh boy. Okay. Inspiring Vantage. Is this gonna get there actually? Oh man. Okay, Inti's down. So we're gonna cycle. Okay, no, we're not gonna get there, right? 1, 2 mana. 4 mana. This is 4 damage. Okay, I need to cycle into a block or a untap land, right? Untap land 1 time. Oh! 1 time. 1 time, buddy. GG. Ha! Nice Ouroboros deck. How about you get charmed? Alright, our opponent is Jackawai. The mighty Jackawai. Why? Well, we get to go first. That's a crazy Mako hand if I've ever seen one. Island. Unending Whisper. White, please. Take out a card. Slow yourself down a bit. We're gonna get flocked, aren't we? Okay, so let's see how many turns we can get through before we get flocked. Oh, that's unfortunate. We're gonna get our stuff countered. Alright, so I mean, it is what it is. Oh my god. He didn't counter it? What's his plan? Not countering our Kulber Rude? Does this deck run counter spells? They're in Spell Snare, right? I'm pretty sure they're in Spell Snare. The discard's already on the stack, buddy, so you're gonna have to try better. Can we get a land? Sacred Foundry. It's playable. I'm not gonna have it tapped or anything, but I'm not gonna have it untapped or anything, but it's playable. Alright, Kulber Root is out, which is pretty much the game of the over. So if I play Practice Offense, he would probably counter it with 3 mana open. But he didn't have a counterspell last turn. This is the turn before he gets to Aetherize us. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make my Lightstall double strike. It's not very good, but it's the last card he wants to target. Detect Intrusion. Yeah, I was gonna counter anyway, so it didn't matter what I played. Now discard a Shelter. Just level up. Okay. Good game. You're tapped out, and now you're dead. Alright, our opponent is Dr. Daniel. Hello, Doctor. We go first with the Mako. Happy about that. Mako time. Mako Tsunami. I am not a freaky fish guy. Alright, this is probably another sort of Jeskai control. But being able to put out Voice is very good against Jeskai control. That being said, I do need land number 3 for this deck to do stuff. And if I don't draw it, I would just be pretty sad. Consult on their turn because they know that they're not going to be able to do anything the next turn. I think we'll just go do this, right? We'll put it on the Mako. Double strike. I mean, it didn't matter. Didn't matter what I put it on. They gotta do something to stop our voice. They're just dead. Okay, GG. Nice, Dr. Daniel. What's your Is It deck? What are you trying to do there? Alright, our opponent is Luca, the mighty Luca. Opponent goes first. I don't have a 1-drop and our opponent's going first. I mean, it's just game over. Alright, this is 2 1-drops. Maybe a little too many. So put away the Lightstall because I want to Mako. That said, our opponent is going first, so I don't know how much of this will matter. Oh, Mako's already dead. Getting hexed. Okay, that means I probably FOMO here. Drop our offense. I get a Shelter. Shelter is pretty good, but you know, I don't have a 3-mana turn, and that's probably the worst thing to fight through in this deck. Not having a 3-mana turn. I definitely don't want him to have. This is kind of tricky, right? I can also Inti and discard a card, but I want to Shelter the core so he doesn't get the mana. But then he can just kill my stuff and get it back. I felt like there was nothing. So let's discard as FOMO. I get a Helix. Not the most useful card right now, but it could work. There's an Annex. So he's going to try to gain life from that. Alright. I can practice offense. I have sorcery creatures and enchantments. It's not going to get there with anything. If I practice offense, I'll lose the sorcery, but I will make the FOMO bigger. But I don't think I need to do this. Let's just Shelter right now for protection's sake. Take out your Annex. Okay. How about more? How about more Lightning Helixes? Seems to be very useful right now. Should have put it on Inti, honestly. The Abundance. Mosswood Dread Knight. Okay, well, if that's the case, let's... Do we tax out one of those cards? Yeah, we'll tax out one of those cards. It's a tap land anyways. And we practice offense. How about double striking FOMO? It's gonna have to block. I lose my Cobra Root, but if he doesn't block, this is still lethal. Okay, so he doesn't know how double strike works. GG. I'm sorry, opponent. You're dead. Do the math a little. Goodbye, Luca. Alright, our opponent is Massive Attack. His attacks are massive. And he go first. Yeesh. I have a Boros Charm. It's not that impactful to give a Marauding Mako a double strike when I have nothing else here. But we'll see, I guess. Vantage Mako. Okay, we got 4 lands out of 8 cards. Beautiful. I went from, I don't know, drawing 2 lands in 27 land deck to drawing... I'm going to stop talking about this and just go for the game. So, here is another Marauding Mako. And we shall first landing this guy. I guess I could have done it on his turn. Not like he can block. Then we practice some offense. We have green. There's a lifelinker guy. I mean, I could practice an offense. I don't know if that would matter. What does this do? Whenever you gain life, put a +1 counter on each. Pest, bat, insect, snakes. That's a lot, right? That is a lot. we're gonna have to push. Now, does he want to trade? If he trades, he can kill our Mako, but he will lose his float. He's thinking about it. He does trade, which I guess is good for us, because we're not falling behind on board. He has another one. And now we have the issue, right? Because this one is harder to get through. Huh. Halia, so it would be a 4-5. Can I get through a 4-5? I might be able to. Let's practice offense. I will be the player. I would like my Mako to have a double strike. I will pump my Mako as well. Double strike, please. Would you like to block? No blocks. I can pump it to a 5. 6 damage times 2. 6 times 2 is... goddamn. 12. Plus 3 is 15. That's not quite lethal, so I don't think I need to discard to push any damage. Not worth it to get the lifelink here. Alright, I got Boros Charm and the Lightning, Burst Lightning. Those are all going to be very good later. Of course, if he just has Shelter here, I don't get much out of it. Playing Halia is very good for me because he gains the life, he pumps the loaf, but he doesn't get too much bigger than this, I would think. Momo, okay. So he does gain one more life, and now he has a flying blocker. Yeesh. Oh, that is another practice offense. I'm gonna discard this. Better I practice this offense. I could Burst Lightning the Momo and attack with this. This will deal 4 times 2. That's actually not too bad. And he would have to block the Mako, but he could just block the Mako. I don't think that's really relevant. But if I make this double strike, he could just ignore it. Or just block it with like these 3s, and that's not really doing much either. Alright, you know what? I think I want to make this double strike though. No, wait! What am I saying? This is Hardened Academic here. Our card exiled the graveyard, I gave it double strike, so that's 10. Then I just Burst Lightning this. So now he has no flying. Yeah, that's GG. Don't forget the Hardened Academic is hardened for an extra damage. Welcome back, everyone. Now that you saw all those Boros offensive games, how does this deck feel? Well, I mean, they made this card really good. They made this card too good, I think, for the current standard. There's so many discard abilities out there right now that you just discard it, this becomes a 2 mana, give a creature +1/+1 double strike. It doesn't just give one creature, it gives all the creature +1s, but a lot of times we're targeting one creature, and that's giving a double strike. And the great thing about this is it's target player too, so it doesn't fizzle if they kill that one creature, which means that now we get a very strong board, either going tall or going wide, right? It seems like a bad card on the surface because, you know, it's trying to do 2 things. It's both going wide and going tall. You don't really want to do both in a lot of matchups and scenarios, but in a style of deck like this, it's actually really good because if we're going wide and tall at the same time, it's very difficult for an opponent to have an answer. Now, I don't know if the Boros version is strictly better or strictly worse than the Mardu version. I didn't have any land issues, which is what I really wanted to see for the Boros combo, so that I don't have to worry about hitting the color, you know, the 3 different colors I needed for the moment that I needed it. But honestly, like, the win is just Mako and Cobra Root in most of the games, plus practice offense. So that could be in any Boros color deck. It could be a Jeskai, it could be Mardu, heck, it could even be Naya put green in there for ramp. I don't know. But it could be any color, right? So just getting this, and this out wins us so many games. And that's kind of how I thought this deck was going to perform. It's a very strong deck, very quick, and win or loss, the games are going to go by very quickly, and you're going to learn how to play this deck. Of course, the biggest thing is make sure you mulligan for creatures. This is a very creature-intensive deck. If you don't have creatures to deal damage, you're not going to win the games. That's really all I got for you today. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will see you guys next time.